Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl have been out for around a week now. Actually, it may be more like 2 weeks now. But either way, Cayla and I have been having a lot of fun with the game, so I brought Cayla back on to do a podcast. So Cayla, go ahead and say hi to everybody.
Hello, I'm Cayla from Cayla's Capsule. I make Pokemon videos and Animal Crossing videos, and I'm a huge nerd. So happy to be here.
Sometimes you're a bigger nerd than me, Cayla.
This is true.
Sometimes. Not always. Although we do get a lot of the same like Pokemon plush and stuff.
Yeah.
We both have the Larvitar, and we both have Grookey.
I have Scorbunny, of course.
I wanted the
Scorbunny.
I love Cinnamon the Scorbunny. I wanted Scorbunny. Anyways, we're here to talk about Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl since it's been out for somewhere between a week and 2 weeks, I think. And
So one thing that's really important for you guys who are either playing the game currently or like about to pick up the game or whatever is to know that this game has some glitches. So if you have autosave on, you're going to want to turn that off right away and just manually save all the time. Yeah, all the glitches that they found, or at least most of them, have to do with like diagonal movement, which was not in the original Diamond and Pearl. And so there's certain things that you can do that you're not really supposed to be able to do, and they can get you caught in some weird places that will totally ruin your save file. So yeah, turn off autosave.
that sounds so fun, right?
Yeah!
I'm really lucky.
Gym and be completely stuck.
Oh,
No!
I saw that one. I actually saw that one. That's the only one I've seen. Wait, no,
That
there
was
was that one, and
exciting.
there's another one that I saw, but it was in front of, I think, a Turna's gym, maybe?
There was one where you can like glitch past a trainer and be stuck in a corner.
Yes, that's the one I saw.
Can't glitch back.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'm
There's
lucky I
more,
haven't
too.
found any of these. And I also, I mean, people that watch my stream already know this, but I turned off autosave like right away. So I'm glad that I did. And I'm also glad I haven't encountered any glitches like this. I've really only encountered screen tearing, which isn't really a glitch so much as just like a coding error.
There was even a glitch I saw today where somebody was able to run around in circles when Cynthia was talking. Like in the Pokemon League, they were just literally running around the room while the conversation was playing. So like,
That's amazing. Actually,
Right?
I need to see this. I'm not that far in the game yet, but
it was
I need to
so
see this.
funny. I was like, oh gosh, but then the game crashed after that. So like,
Oh no.
yeah, so turn off autosave because you never know what's gonna happen. It's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
Yo, that's crazy. Except some of these chocolates gonna be rotten.
Right?
Dang. Oh man. Well, I'm just glad that I haven't encountered. Have you encountered any of those yourself or no?
No, I've been fine myself. Like I haven't had any like game breaking glitches. Like there have been some like weird things, but they're just like visual things that are probably supposed to be that way and just are just weird. But I haven't encountered anything that like wrecks the game or anything like that.
Did you turn off autosave as well?
Yeah, I did. I especially after seeing all the glitches that were going on, I was like, turn it off. And like when I was doing my stream, I kept telling people like, turn off autosave.
Wow.
Because it was a big issue. Like people got to the end of the game and then it would, yeah, like, ooh.
That's scary, especially game. So one thing I'll talk about now, I may as well just bring this up, is that this game has a lot of NPCs and a lot of, even with the experience share, it still feels so grindy, especially by comparison coming from, you know, Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield, which kind of spoiled us with having much better pacing. Not that the pacing in BDSP is bad, it's just way different. It's more old school and it's more, you know, there's definitely just more fights to be had. And
And Pearl are known as the slowest paced games.
Oh.
These games are still pretty slow.
I thought that was just because of like movement speeds and stuff. Is it just slow paced in general?
Yeah, so Diamond and Pearl were known as the slowest paced games. And part of that was because of like the HP bar going down slowly and like all sorts of like actual like things with the game. But they also are known to have like very long routes with lots of trainers. And like
Okay.
high encounter rates and all of that is very like the way the game was. Like, it is a slow game. It is not a quick game.
So there's no other games in the mainline series that were as slow as it? Because I don't remember, honestly.
Yeah, Diamond and Pearl were known as, like, their pacing was something that's kind of, like, really, really, like, known to be slow. Like, they are slow-paced games. And, like, some people really like that because, like, you do spend a lot of time on the routes. But for the most part, it was very much critiqued. I do feel like they did better with it than in Diamond and Pearl, but they were still pretty slow-paced.
Wow. I mean, you know me, I still haven't even finished the game yet, so...
Yeah, exactly. Like, it is a long game.
Yeah, I feel like I've done a lot, and there's still... I don't even have... I think I have 2 more badges, maybe, to get, or 3 more? I lost count, but either way, I do have quite a ways to go. And then there's, of course, some post-game content that I have to check out as well.
There is a lot of post-game content.
Yeah, we're going to talk about more to do with, you know, the fact that there's a lot of NPCs and stuff with, like, the difficulty later. So what I was going to say before was the game is pretty hard by comparison, even with experience share on, and slow pace even with experience share. So it would really suck to have all of that taken from you by a hard lock from, you know, glitching the game with autosave on, which is really... I find it interesting that they default to autosave on for the first time. Okay, maybe that's not the first time. I think Sword and Shield did it first, and maybe Let's Go. But like defaulting that in a game where they know that they designed it around just 4 directions, but they also gave us analog controlling movement. So right. I find that kind of odd. Why would they default to that knowing that it's very easily breakable?
I think they're trying to default to autosave because I know there have been people who played through Pokemon and didn't, like, especially little kids who didn't know how to save, you know? And, like, I know that was, like, a big thing where kids would, like, not understand the concept of saving.
I was one of them.
Yeah,
I
remember
understand
telling that story before, right?
It would ask me to overwrite, and I'm like, no, that doesn't sound right. So I would always say no and then wonder why I lost all my save data.
Exactly. So I think they're, like, trying to cater it to little kids and also to encourage people for not doing that thing where you save and then you just, you know, exit the game so that, like, if you lose, it's like, oh, I didn't actually lose.
Well, for the first point, I want to say they could just make the saving easier by saying something more like, do you want to save the game? Like every other game asks you. Not, do you want to overwrite your save data with new save data or whatever it says. Yeah,
and it's actually, like, it's pretty easy to save in this game compared, like, to manually save because they literally have it set up so you can press the R button in the menu.
Yep.
You know? So that's actually, like, much easier than it's been in the past, so.
Yeah. All right, well, the warning for glitches is now behind us, and now let's go ahead and talk about some topics that we have listed. Cayla. And first, I want to talk about the graphics because this is a huge point of contention with people. Some people love these graphics. Some people can't stand them.
We're diving right into the controversy.
Let's go. I quite like them, personally. I like them.
Yeah, I found that I liked them better than I thought I would, for sure.
I liked them about as much as I thought I would. Once they showed us that they, you know, added polish to the graphics, I was actually really happy with the art style because I love chibis. I think chibis are really cute. So the fact that they did them right, getting rid of, you know, those oversized hands and actually putting textures and lighting effects in the world, I was happy. So I'm glad to be seeing that in full force with the game and enjoying it as much as I thought I would. What about you?
Love chibis, but I don't feel like they fit right with the story because, like, the story gets so dark. Like, it gets really, really dark. I'm, like, trying not to go too heavy into spoilers, but oh boy, like, it goes there. Like, it goes there. And so having things be chibi is a little bit awkward, but honestly, I thought it would bother me a lot more than it did. I thought, like, Cyrus wasn't going to be as intimidating, but no, he was still very terrifying. So, it didn't bother me as much as I thought.
Is it just because you see him in, like, full form in the battle, or?
No, even in like the scenes with him, the music, they did a really good job with the music. Like upgrading the music, and also the backgrounds. I feel like, I don't know, they made him look scary. They got like the right angles with the cameras and everything, and like cutscenes to just be like make him just actually look intimidating. Even though he was chibi, I don't know how they did it, but they did a very good job with still keeping him scary. So.
Good. I'm glad about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was glad too, because I was so scared that I was just going to be laughing at Chibi Cyrus the whole time.
That would be funny.
Yep.
Okay.
But yeah, it was good. I wish too that we could move the camera a little bit more, like even just to look up.
Yeah.
The
Agreed.
scenery was so pretty. I wanted to just see it more.
I agree. Some of the towns, I'm really sad because some of the towns do a really good angle where it like comes closer to your character and kind of tilts downward a bit to get us more level with them. But then some of the other towns, which I think would have also wow, I can't talk, would have also benefited from this. They like tilt the camera, or they don't tilt the camera. It stays like very top down, which doesn't look nearly as good and doesn't let as much of the environments shine and feel, it's nicer to see things up close and personal and get cool angles on them, but like top down just doesn't do it for me personally.
Right. I also wish we had the option to zoom.
Yes, like in Amity Square.
Yes, exactly, because you can only take those zoomed in pictures with cute Pokemon, but I'm like, the camera option was there the whole time.
Yeah, I wish it let us zoom. That would be a fun fix, if you could just let us zoom and maybe tilt it a little bit, at least up and down, Let us like cater ourselves a bit here,
I just want to be able to see more of the world. Like, even if they let us do those things, they still don't have to like render the back of buildings or anything, so it
exactly.
wouldn't be a huge lift. So I'm like, please.
I agree. It wouldn't be a huge undertaking at all.
Yeah, well, the battles looked nice. There were like some glitches and stuff with it that were a little weird, but overall, like, those looked really pretty.
Wait, you saw glitches in the backgrounds? Or in the battles?
With like shadows and stuff and reflections and the trainers popping in and out, like that kind of stuff.
I noticed trainers popping in and out when Pokemon use moves and stuff, like they just disappear and reappear in front of our eyes.
It's the worst in double battles because then it's not just one trainer but two trainers that disappear.
Well, that and like double battles look mad awkward in Pokemon nowadays because that what is it about Pokemon Battle Revolution and Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon XD that did it so right? Like, it didn't look awkward in those games, but for some reason in the mainline games, when we have double battles, something's really awkward about it. It's the way the like models keep turning without moving their limbs, and they shrink down Pokemon to fit on the grids. I mean, they already do that in single player battles, but it looks even more weird in double battles. I think they shrink them even more. Like, Steelix looks like a fucking joke right next to another Pokemon who should be much smaller than it, And even the trainers behind them, like they're the same size as the trainer.
I feel like they're trying to compress the like battles into this tiny space, like a tiny like physical space. But like the best looking battles, like if we look at all of Pokemon, have been like either big arenas or big spaces. Like they gave Pokemon the room to be.
I agree. And that's what XD, Coliseum, and Battle Revolution all did. Like the Pokemon were far away from each other, and they looked like they were actually using the space that they were in to fight, not like they were just here, let's just like sit shoulder to shoulder and then attack each other.
Yeah, this is much more compressed, and it feels like they are trying to get that retro feel because like in the retro games, like you didn't see how far away the Pokemon were from you in that same way.
It just doesn't work in 3D though. It really doesn't. I don't care what kind of retro feel you're going for. Don't do that in 3D. Just do it right. Just make it look how it should. We all know how it should look. Just do it that way instead. This is not like an artistic decision. This is just like a cheap decision is what it looks like,
Yeah. But there are parts of the battles that do look really cool though.
Definitely. Like, the backgrounds are gorgeous for so many areas.
And they made them move for like almost all of them.
Well,
A lot of them move.
I don't agree with that. I think they move in like the gyms, but like anywhere that like I see a lot of places that like the water just like is not moving on the ground, even though a waterfall's going into it, or like in the swamp, like there's no rippling of the water, like it just stays. It looks like glass, and the trees, like there's like the regular plains battles with or forest battles or whatever it is, like the trees don't sway in the wind or anything. Everything looks like it just stays there stagnant. But you know what, it's not that bad to me because the game kind of looks like a toy box, so it looks it looks fine because of that. So I don't actually mind it as much as I thought I would, especially since that was something I vocalized a lot pre-release for BDSP.
I think I used so many repels on wild Pokemon that I didn't see a lot of the backgrounds for them. I only saw them in the trainer battles.
Yeah, I had to use repels because between all the battles and all the Pokemon that spring up, definitely had to use repels. There's just too many things stopping my progression. It feels very unsatisfying to keep walking and then stopping. You know what I mean?
Yeah. On the one hand, it's exciting because you're constantly doing something, but on the other hand, it's like, I want to go.
So it's not exciting to me because there's such a long load up every time you get into a battle and every time you get into a Pokemon battle too.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm always like, what's it gonna be? Is it gonna be something rare? Nope, it's a Zubat. Okay.
But then once you see that it's a Zubat, it takes another like 5 to 10 seconds for you to be able to interact and say, I want to run. And then it takes another like 5 seconds for the game to load back up the overworld.
Yeah. Oh, there's some problems. Got its issues.
Anyways, what was I saying about the game looking really pretty again?
Oh yeah, the game does look really pretty though.
It's so easy to fall into the negatives, but honestly, like there's a lot to love with the visuals. The chibi aesthetic's cute. The battles can look very pretty, especially with the lighting and the graphics themselves. Maybe not the Pokemon animations or the way that they look in the grid system, especially for double battles. But that aside, it's well done by what Ilka was able to work with. I don't think Ilka was really able to work with the Pokemon models and all that. I think Masuda and the Pokemon Company kind of stopped them from doing that.
Yeah, it seems like they were limited in a lot of ways.
A weird thing I just want to point out. The Pokemon blinking in this game for some reason looks really weird. Have you noticed that?
No.
So the Pokemon blink, and I don't know if they blinked in the games before, but it's like very obvious that they blink in this one because when they blink in this one, it's very slow, and it's always, they're like JPEG images. So like, it just looks really weird. For some Pokemon, it's not as bad, but for others, like I think Shinx and Machoke, like their eyes look really weird when they blink, and it's just like, it stays way too long on the frame that the JPEG switches to a JPEG of their eyes half open. It's like not even fully closed. It's like it just stays on their eyes half open and then goes to them closing and then goes to half open again and stays there and then goes back to open. And it just looks really weird. You're gonna notice it. Now that I'm pointing it out, you're gonna notice it.
I feel like the Pokemon that I used, it wasn't as much of an issue because they're all like, I used all Steel types and their eyes just aren't, you know.
You can still see it on them though.
Yeah, but like they all have tiny eyes, you know.
That is true. That is true.
There's no like big cute eyes on Steel types.
Yeah, it's more noticeable with the big eyes, I think. So that makes sense. But yeah, that's just something I wanted to throw out there. I don't know what the decision making was like on that, but I went back and looked at the Pokemon Legends Arceus trailers, and gosh, the blinking eyes in those games look really good because it's actually animated for the Pokemon. Because like those models, the models that they're using in Pokemon Legends are different models, and they actually have like actual eyes. So when they blink, it's not just JPEGs closing and opening with like different JPEG images. It's an actual part of the model moving to close and open back up.
So cool.
Yeah, I'm so excited for Legends. But this is a BDSP podcast. It's okay, we'll do another Legends one soon. I really want to talk about Legends again, and I'm excited for more news to come. You know it's going to come now that BDSP is out.
I wouldn't be surprised if it comes in a couple days.
Yeah, it would probably come tomorrow, if at all, this week, but there's a possibility it could come after that too. It usually comes out on Tuesdays, so like today would have been the biggest chance, but we'll see. Maybe tomorrow.
It was weird that it didn't come out today. I know a lot of people were thinking it was going to come out today.
I did. I definitely did.
Aww. Sorry.
I know. Sad face. Either way, let's go ahead and talk about... Let's bring things more back up to a positive note. Let's talk about our favorite aspects and segments in Pokemon BDSP. I'll let you start. Let's start with your favorite aspects, and then we'll move on to your favorite segments. Go ahead.
They're actually kind of related. One of my favorite aspects of BDSP is that there are a ton of side missions with actual like things to do and like little rewards that you get for completing them. And I think that's so cool because I think that's something that Pokemon has lost a lot of in modern games.
Agreed.
And like they're optional too, so it's like you don't have to do this thing, but like you'll get this thing if you do it. There's like all sorts of like little quests and stuff. Like I was talking to my friend Libby, and she was like, "Oh, I found a haunted house. I'm gonna go explore it." I'm like, "You found a what?"
I just did that. That's just a funny aside. I actually did that. I was gonna talk about that, but now it's ruined.
Oh, I'm sorry. So sorry.
Anyways, keep going.
But yeah, I found like there's like this cave that I went through, and it was like one of my favorite parts of my stream because I went into this cave and I got like so lost, and finally I made it to like the end of like the cave, and I was like ready to use an escape rope. And there was like this girl there. There was like this tiny little girl like trapped in the cave crying. And she was like, "Please help me out of the cave." And then it was like, "You can't use an escape rope because you're going to lose her." And I was like, oh no.
Wow.
And so like the people on my stream were like helping me navigate my way out of the cave because I was there for so long. And they just like helped me navigate out of the cave. And get this girl to safety, and like I got a reward for doing it, and it was just like it was totally a side mission. It didn't relate to like anything, but like it was so crazy to have that experience, you know? Like those are the type of things that you remember when you like think about the games, like those like unique, like wow, like I can't believe this happened kind of thing. And so I'm really glad they have all these side missions so we can be like, "Oh, like I saw this. Did you have this happen?" No, it like makes your playthrough like unique, you know?
Yeah, I like that too. We've been talking a lot about like our experiences with the game, and it's actually been more interesting than ever to hear your experiences and my partner's experiences as we all play through the game, because they're all pretty different. And it's like you said, it's because of the fact that there's so many different things to do, you know?
Yeah, it's so good. I love it.
Yeah. I think I might know which cave you're talking about. Don't tell me if I'm right or wrong right now. But like I just found a cave on accident last night, and I couldn't go through it because it was like pitch black and I couldn't see anything. And I think I need like flash or something, or maybe I need to unlock the HM or something. I don't know, and don't tell me. I'll figure it out. But yeah, that might be the cave you're talking about right now, and I'm curious to find out if it is, and if not, then I'm excited to find another cave somewhere.
I won't say anything. Mum's the word.
Awesome. Okay, then now I'll talk about my favorite aspects and segments of the game so far. I haven't finished it like you have, though, so yeah. Mine's a little more limited. I just got up to Snow Point, so so far, my favorite aspects of the game is all the new stuff that they added. And so that includes, you know, follow Pokemon. I love follow Pokemon in all the games. Even Sword and Shield, where they did it wrong, I still love the fact that there's follow Pokemon. I just wish they did it right in that game. But they did a lot better in this one, so I'm happy about it. And then I also really like the fashion that you can give your trainers. And I picked the female trainer. I think the male trainer also has really cool outfits in this game, and I'm glad that they finally gave love to the male outfits. But the female trainer's outfits are also really fun, so I like changing those off and on. And just like segments of the game that I know I'm going to, or like what the areas look like, I like to change her outfit to match them. So like when I went to the beach, you know, I put her in this really fashionable like model outfit. And then now that I'm up in Snow Point, I put her in this winter dress, and then back into the platinum outfit, which looks like it fits for the weather, although it's kind of a short skirt. But
I've been doing the same kind of thing. It's so fun.
As we should. It is so fun. And I also really love the stickers. I think stickers were included in the original, but I feel like they're better in this one because it's 3D. So it just has more of an impact when you throw the Pokemon out and there's effects there, you know?
They're so much fun. I have spent way too much time playing with those stickers.
Same. And I'm trying to collect berries so that I can get more because you can buy different stickers with berries on top of just finding them from side quests. So that's pretty neat. As for segments of the game so far, I think my favorite segment so far... Ooh, that's a hard one. Okay, I remember what it is. My favorite segment so far was when I just absolutely could not beat the fighting gym.
Yeah.
Like I lost like 4 or 5 times and was like, well, bump this, I'm going. And so I just went down south and I was able to just like go through this whole like beach area and then into the swamp and then there was a town in there. And I was like, oh, well, that's dummy cool. There's a swamp in here and there's another gym. And I go into the gym thinking full well they're going to kick me out for some bull reason, right? But no, I was able to just go in and beat the gym. And I had a much easier time with that gym than I did with the other one. And so then I went back. But the best part about this whole experience was on my way to that second gym, there was a settlement on the route. And I thought it was really cool because I didn't expect it. I was just walking through this route thinking that it was going to be, another route, and then I'm going to get to some other town eventually. And this wasn't the town. This was just on the route was this settlement with a bunch of houses and like a restaurant, and someone has a pool. And I was like, dang, this is really cool. And I actually didn't remember this from the original because in the original, I remember the area from the original, but I could have sworn it was a town. But turns out it wasn't. So I find it pretty cool, and that was my favorite segment of the game so far.
Yeah, the fact that you can do the gym slightly out of order is so cool. I wish that they would bring that back more often in games.
Agreed. When was the last time we had that? Was it Black 2, White 2, or no?
I don't remember.
Or could we even do that in Black 2, White 2? I don't know if we could, or in Black and White or Black 2, White 2.
I know we could definitely do it in Gen 1, and I'm pretty sure we could do that in Gen 2.
Yeah, you could, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Gen 3 you could too.
Could you?
I think so. I think you could battle your dad out of order, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah, you could skip your dad.
Yeah, I think you could skip your dad. Or you could battle your dad first or something like that.
Right, yeah, it was like him or somebody else.
Yeah, I don't remember who, though.
I think.
Hoenn's very blurry to me, and it's funny because I got Alpha Sapphire, and I didn't beat Alpha Sapphire. I lost interest real fast in that one. That's actually the first Pokemon game I picked up but did not complete, which is really sad.
All the way through, and you definitely should because the post game is really important.
I know, I've heard, and I want to go back and play it. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could stomach going back and playing it though, because it feels kind of outdated by now.
You should at least watch somebody play through the Delta episode. Just watch somebody's gameplay of it because it's so crazy.
Maybe I will. Maybe I'll play through. I'd rather play through it. I'd rather play through it than watch someone else.
Yeah,
yeah. So if I do ever do it, it'll be from playing it myself. I have the game. I have my 3DS still. I just completed Samus Returns on the 3DS, so it's not like I'm opposed to using my 3DS. Even though you have a Switch now. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why were we talking about this again, Cayla?
We were talking about doing the gyms out of order.
Oh yeah. And then of course now Gen 4 we can do that. And That's the last one I remember. I don't remember if we could do any of Gen 5s or beyond out of order.
Yeah, I don't remember. They started making the stories more and more linear.
You definitely couldn't do it in Gen 7 and 8. I know that for sure. I just don't know about 5 and 6.
Well, Gen 7 didn't even have gyms, so...
Well, you couldn't do the trials out of order.
Yeah.
You had to beat the trials in order to move on to the next island, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. But yeah, so we talked about our favorite aspects now. Now we're going to drop it back down a little bit. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it low, whatever the phrases are for you. for you Gen Zs out there. Actually, no, that's more millennial, and we're millennial, so I should know these phrases. I think ours is drop it like it's hot, and
yeah, drop it like it's hot.
And what's drop it low? Was that the other one?
Drop it low was a song.
Right. How did it go again?
That was also a song.
What's the one that everyone did the dance move? It was like drop, get low, No.
Oh, get low, get low, get low, get
Was
low.
that it? Okay, yeah. Anyways.
Oh gosh, we're dating ourselves.
Yeah, we definitely are. Okay, so we're getting low again and talking about our least favorite aspects and segments. So I'll let you lead with this one again, Cayla.
So my least favorite, let's see, I'm trying to think of aspects. Aspects is harder. Well, actually, no, it's not. My least favorite aspect is that you
Spit
can't
it
turn
out.
off the XP share.
Oh, really? That's your least favorite aspect?
Oh yeah, I want to be able to turn off the EXP share
Oh,
because
hell no.
I
Not with this pacing.
So my thing though with the EXP share is like there are certain Pokemon that level up faster than others. So I try to keep my Pokemon all the same level throughout my playthrough.
Yeah, I've been switching off.
But the way that it works with the EXP share, I basically don't get to use some of the Pokemon on my team. You know?
Because they're over leveled?
Because they level up so much faster than the other Pokemon.
Yeah, I feel that.
Because like there's like a rate at which different Pokemon level, and some actually do need less experience to level up.
But aren't they weaker usually, so it's fine?
It's like they'll be like the same level, you know, they'll be fully evolved, and they literally just level up faster, you know? And so there were Pokemon on my team that I really didn't get to use as much as others that I really like wanted to use. Like Scizor leveled up a lot faster than some of my other Pokemon, so I like didn't get to use it as much as I would have liked to, you know?
Dang, and Scizor is so cool too.
I know, it's so cool. I love its like strategy, the way that it plays. It's just a very cool, like I have a huge appreciation for Scizor after playing, but I didn't get to use it as much as I would have liked because of the EXP share being all the time.
Dang.
That made me sad. And like, yeah, it does mean that you have to like fight wild Pokemon more, but considering how many repels I was using, I would have been okay with that actually. And so yeah, that was my least favorite aspect. For least favorite segment, there is a huge break between two of the badges. I'm pretty sure it's between badge 2 and badge 3.
Yep.
There's like a giant part where you don't get any badges, and I kept being like, are we gonna get badges? Like, did I miss something? Like, I went back to Fantina's gym a bunch of times, like, am I supposed to like get a badge now?
We had to go past like I think like 4 towns before you could get to the third, and then I kept losing at that third gym. So then I went to another town and got badge 4 before I even got badge 3. So
it was so strange. I guess I looked it up after because I was like, why is there that delay? Apparently in Platinum, you just like fight Fantina as like the third gym or something.
Man, okay.
And it fixes that whole pacing issue.
So let's just segue that into mine, because my least favorite aspect of this game is the missing Platinum content. I'm actually really bummed about it because I never got to play Platinum, and I'm never going back and using an emulator to play Platinum. I don't find the retro Pokemon games that worth it enough unless it's Gen 2, because I have so much nostalgia for Gen 2.
Yeah.
And maybe Fire Red, just because I love the Sevi Islands, and I have a lot of nostalgia for those too, because they remind me a lot of Johto.
And those are the only ones with the Sevi Islands, which were so good.
Yep, they were really good. So the lack of Platinum content feels like a gaping hole in this game. It's very noticeable even if you've never played Platinum. And I think about it a lot. As I go through, let's say, segments like you just mentioned, I was like, I wonder if Platinum fixed that. Right. Or I realize I don't have any fire types on my team. I know for a fact that Platinum fixed that. And I don't want to go to the Underground to catch them because, one, I don't really like the Underground much personally. And then two, they're all super over-leveled Underground. Like, they're always at least 10 levels above you, no matter what. And I don't want to have a Pokemon that's 10 levels above me on my team when I'm trying to make sure my team is nice and underleveled, or at least on the same level as the battles that I'm fighting, you know?
Yeah,
And
and
then,
that's the thing with the EXP share too, because if you add this Pokemon that's way over leveled, it's gonna continuously get all the experience too, and continuously be way over leveled for a very long time.
yeah, and then I go through these towns and I'm like, this town could use a little more visual flair. And then I think about it, like, I wonder if Platinum gave it more visual flair, because I know that Platinum gave towns more visual flair. And just also just segments of the game too that I know that Platinum did better, by building atmosphere and all this other stuff. Also, the intro to this game is awful. If you when you boot the game up, the opening cutscene that plays before you go into the start menu is really, really bad. And it's because it's a faithful remake of what Diamond and Pearl did, but it looks bad because like the characters are just running around looking derpy on these terrains with and they used shots of the terrains that had like no lighting effects, and it really bothered me. And then I went and I saw online recently, it just started playing on my YouTube feed without me even clicking on it. It was the opening to Pokemon Platinum, and I was like, wait, this looks epic as hell. Where is this? Why is this not what they copied for the opening for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl? Like, I get that there's no Distortion World and that half the actual good story content wasn't there, but it really does make me mad. And I also just wonder about how the story would have differed and if it would actually be more interesting, because I don't find the story very interesting so far. And yeah, there's just, even as someone who's never played Platinum, it feels like there's so much missing. It's really sad, actually. And I can only imagine what it feels like for people who actually did play Platinum.
I also haven't played Platinum, but I've watched a lot of videos of people playing it. And I just, yeah, you're right. I really do wish they had that content in there.
And I refuse to watch other people play it. Like, I want to play it myself, But I also don't want to go play a 15-year-old game on an emulator on my phone that doesn't feel satisfying to use because it's all touchscreen,
Yeah.
And then I don't want to do it on my PC because I feel like my PC is not for retro games, I don't use my PC and I also don't use my PC for gaming much in general, but... yeah, so it is irksome. They knew that they should have added Platinum content and they just didn't. I blame Masuda. I know for a damn fact that man is the one who made this decision, because he can't admit that someone else directed his own game better than he did.
Especially sad too, because they have it in the code that you can just switch easily between Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. You know what I mean? They made one game and then they just had that one little thing in the code that you can switch. So it's like, why not just make one game?
Well, we know why. It's for money.
They could have just made Platinum.
Yeah, but they literally doubled their sales, or at least 1.5 their sales, by making 2 versions. Because there's people, even people commenting on my videos and in my live streams, they're like, yeah, I'm getting the double pack. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, interesting. I don't know why you would do that. But, I mean, they've explained it to me. Their reasoning is because, they don't have anyone to trade with, or because, it's just a collector's item. And to me, that's the Pokemon Company knows that people are going to do that, so why not make 2 versions, even though it's the same game, just with stuff purposely taken out of one or the other, and try to tell us it's for a social aspect, when really, it's really not that social at all.
I do wonder, though, how many more people would get the game if it was Platinum based as opposed to Diamond and Pearl based, because I know there were a lot of people who were kind of on the fence about whether or not to get it at all.
Yeah.
And so could have brought those sales in. I wonder if they thought about that and they went with, oh, well, if we do Diamond and Pearl, it's still more money.
And even if they still kept it to 2 versions, they still could have included Platinum content. Heart Gold Soul Silver did it. Fire Red and Leaf Green did it. Well, okay, wait, hold on. Fire Red, Leaf Green, they did not do it. No, they didn't put in Pokemon Yellow stuff. But Heart Gold Soul Silver definitely did it, and everyone cites Heart Gold Soul Silver as the best games in the Pokemon series. And so this could have been something that people could start citing as such, but no, they purposely omitted Platinum content. And I don't understand why they would do that, knowing that there's a chunk of people that would not have gotten the game without Platinum content.
And the crazy thing is too, like, so I know there like people with remakes might think like, oh, like remakes are just the game remade, but consistently for Pokemon, when they've done remakes, they've added more content. You know, like
Yeah.
every single Pokemon remake has not been a faithful remake. They've always added new content, and we've liked that. And so I don't know why they changed that.
Agreed. Yeah, I can't fathom it. Even Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. That's the one I wanted to cite. They kept Emerald content,
They
right?
they did not put in the Battle Frontier.
Right, but they kept the but they kept what is it? The Rayquaza storyline.
Yes, they added in a different Rayquaza's storyline.
Even better, even better. They could have done something like that too, like
Yeah,
had a more epic story with Giratina and Arceus or something,
it
especially to
was
lead up to
better.
Legends.
And they incorporated Mega Evolution, which changed some aspects of the plot in
Yep.
really cool and interesting ways.
And that's another thing people want is Mega Evolution. That's another aspect that I feel like is missing, you know? And it's noticeable. It feels like a lot of stuff is a little less intense because you lose that layer of eventfulness, you know?
Yeah, adding Mega Evolution to these games would have just been very, very cool. It would have been so good for the lore. And it would have been so easy because like there's some iconic Pokemon that already have Megas. You
Yeah.
know? Like we already have Mega Lucario. We already have Mega Garchomp. Like the iconic Megas are already there. Like you don't even have to make new ones for a lot of it. Like you can add more, sure. We love that. Um but like the groundwork is there.
All right, this is getting me depresso espresso. So let me just say what my least favorite segments were, and then let's go back to some other topics.
Yeah.
My least favorite segments of the game is a tie, actually, between the one you just mentioned, where we had to go through like 4 towns before getting to the next badge.
Yep.
Arguably more if you couldn't beat that gym and had to go to another one. But except that part of that segment I actually did like I mentioned earlier. But getting from where the badge 2 is to where badge 3 is was not fun. There was so many routes and like several towns and then so many NPCs and so many wild Pokemon. I was over it by the end of that. And I just wanted to get through one of the parts of it to get to where I can unlock follow Pokemon. And I think I was like halfway to the 3rd badge is where you get the follow Pokemon, and I just, that first half especially felt like such a slog because I just wanted the follow Pokemon, and I knew that we unlocked it through Amity Square, so it just felt like it took forever. And so it's a tie between that and actually where I am now, which is coming up to Snow Point. It wasn't the journey to Snow Point that I disliked, it was that I got to Snow Point and I was told to go to Snow Point because I need to stop Team Galactic because they're doing some funny business at the lakes, right? And so I was like, okay, this sounds really urgent. They already took some, like they're already doing some bad stuff. I need to go up there and stop them now. And I get up there and it's like the whole game is just pointing me to beat the gym leader first. And I can't fathom how that made sense in anyone's brain. But then again, I can't fathom anything that makes sense in Masada's brain. He was the director for these games, so it kind of goes hand in hand, right? Ugh, that man's a menace. I'm done with him.
Aw.
That was my least favorite segment. All right, now that we're done with the Depresso Espresso segments, let's talk about the Underground, because I know this is something you really like. So I'll let you talk about this one.
So I really enjoy the Underground, but like I find it so addictive because I keep going down there and I'm like, oh, I'm only gonna spend like a little bit of time, just look around a little bit and then go back up. No, I'm like, oh, I have 10 Diglett. I'm a fourth of the way there. I keep going, and then I'm like, oh, there's like I go into a room and then you come out of the room and then there's all the new like gold digging spots. I'm like, I should dig all of these because what if there's something cool in one of those that I can't see? And so I go through and I'm just like, I feel like I'm like such a completionist with it, but there's no completion of it. And so I just keep going and going, and I will literally spend I'd literally spent an entire day this weekend just doing the Underground. Like just in the Underground, like all day, just like digging things up and exploring and making my secret base and like doing all that. And so like I just, for the amount of time that I've spent there, I can't say I hate it.
Well, that's awesome.
Like it.
I don't hate it. I like it. I had fun when we played together. Remember, I came over to your place and we just like were digging together, and then we're also running around together and catching Pokemon and saying like, oh, this one must be a version exclusive, you know, things like that. Like that was pretty fun.
Yeah, you also, if you play with other people, the Diglets that you get count all together.
Oh, let's do that, because I don't know what getting them gets me, but it feels like it's going to take forever otherwise, so we should totally do that soon. Was that everything you had to say about the Underground, Cayla?
Yeah, I mean, it is also cool that we can get Pokemon early, because I know for my team, like being all Steel types, I was obviously very limited in which Pokemon I could use, so having access to the Underground allowed me to get some Pokemon on my team way earlier than I would be able to otherwise.
Yeah, like we got Scyther down there, right? If I remember
yeah,
correctly.
I found Scyther. I forget.
Onyx was down there, or and I don't know if he was up top or not. But
I think I got Onyx up top before I went down there, but I found Scyther and I found Magnemite. And like it was essential. It was essential. It really was. Like if you're
That's good. That means it's a good addition.
Yeah, especially because Diamond and Pearl are known for not having a ton of Pokemon available. And so like doing a mono Steel type run, like when there's only like 8 Steel types plus a legendary, so like 9.
Oh wow.
That's all there are in the whole the
regional, right? Regional decks.
Yeah, until you get like to the post game, then you can get more. But like, yeah, I think there's only 8 that you can get. I'm pretty sure it's 8 different Pokemon, and so like, it's very limiting. And so I would not have been able to really that run would not have been as satisfying if it wasn't for the Underground. So
right,
I really like that feature.
Well, that's awesome. Okay, and now let's talk about the difficulty in the game, because that's something that I think the difficulty in the game is actually pretty high.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay, so you've been having... We can talk about like crazy battles we had. I'll talk about mine first, actually, because you're further in the game and mine are pretty early on. But Cayla, the hardest fight I've had in this game was against a random NPC.
Oh my gosh!
And it was like, so I was limiting myself to only carrying the same amount of Pokemon as the other people, right? And so now I'm finally worked my way up to 6, but back then I think I only had 2, maybe 3 Pokemon. And there was this one person who had like 2 Pikachu, and I had, I think, like a Shinx and my Piplup. Oh no, I had 3. So I had a Shinx, a Piplup, and I forget what the third one was. I think it was like Kricketot. And I was trying my best to like use strategy to beat this person who had just like 2 Pikachu, and one was very attack based and one was special attack based. So like it actually ended up being really fun because of it. So I had to like strategize how to use the attack base against him and then the special attack base against him, and it was really fun. But that was like a good example of like the difficulty in this game. And then there's like other NPCs that like, there was this Bidoof that this trainer had that like, I was like, okay, this will be an easy kill, and I killed it, right? But then it had poison point, so it poisoned me.
No.
And I was like, wait a second. And then like as I continued, Barry shows up, or what's his name? I call him Fuckass in my game, but I think his name's Barry, right? Is that his name?
Named him after my brother. Yeah, but his name is Barry.
Okay. So he like bumped into me right after that fight, and I was like, ah, shit, like I just got my ass kicked by this Bidoof, and now he's about to kick my ass with this Bidoof's poison kicking my ass at the same time. And sure enough, I actually may have won that fight, but my Shinx definitely did not win that fight because my Shinx got poisoned.
Yeah, oh no.
It was kind of crazy. So like, yeah, the difficulty in this game is pretty good. Obviously, it's kind of a make your own difficulty kind of game. I'm sure if you keep 6 Pokemon all the time and always stick with the same ones from start to finish, it's probably very easy, because it is easy to get over leveled because of experience share. But I switch off constantly, and also, you know, was limiting the number of Pokemon on my team with how much the general NPCs had. So yeah. And I also had one real quick before
Yeah,
I
go
let
ahead.
you talk about your super crazy ones because you're like the competitive girl. Um, Another one that or both, I think it was like two galactic commanders, and then all the other wow, I can't talk. Other NPCs too, like Barry and even some random NPCs. They'll like switch out Pokemon if they know what's optimal. I actually have a clip saved, and I'm gonna share it with everyone. So I'm still editing some videos of my playthrough for BDSP. I'm not doing them in streams anymore. I'm actually just like recording the footage and with the commentary, and then I'm gonna put it out. But there was a battle where I was like, if this NPC switches out their Pokemon right now because the other one knows Levitate or has a Levitate ability, then they're sentient. And sure enough, yeah, because I was using Dig, and like they knew that when I came up with that Dig that they should have switched to the Levitate, and they did, and then I didn't hit them. And that's not the only example, but like that was like the biggest example, and I was like, this is crazy. They actually think.
Yeah, their AI was actually pretty good.
I agree.
Terrifying.
It's way better than Sword and Shield's AI. That AI was brain dead. They just like didn't care who you had out. They just kept going with the same Pokemon.
Yup.
All right,
Yeah,
Cayla, tell us your craziness.
So I was playing Mono Steel, which, as we said, there aren't a lot of Steel types in this generation because there just weren't that many Steel types yet. Yeah, there were definitely some crazy things that happened. For one thing, I kept like my team of 6 pretty much the entire time of my like 6 Steel types. Obviously, like I couldn't get all 6 right away, but like as soon as I got them, like I would add them to my team. And even though like I consistently had a group of 6 Pokemon, because they were all Steel types, and because like some of the hardest trainers in the game are very, very good against Steel types, oh boy, it was so hard. Like 3 of the Elite 4 are pretty much catered to destroying Steel types. And I was just like, oh, this is so hard. I just like bought a bunch of items because I was like, there's no way. I just had to like wait out earthquakes and like, oh, now I'm getting hit with fire.
There was one really intense one you were telling me about. If you want to tell people about that one.
Yeah, it's my battle with Cynthia, and it's on the last episode of my stream. It was so crazy. So I'm fighting Cynthia, and Garchomp, very, very fast, knows Earthquake, literally takes out every single one of my Pokemon in one hit before they could hit it. Like my Magnezone had Magnet Rise at this point, but it was slower, so like it couldn't even use it. It would just get hit and die before it could even protect itself. And so all of my Pokemon are just like fainting one by one by one. And I'm just not even trying to attack at this point. I'm just like reviving Pokemon in the background. It's like, all right, who's gonna take the next hit? And then I throw out my Steelix, and Steelix has been like the worst Pokemon in my playthrough because Steelix has like basically it has not Steelix, but Onix has lower attack than Bellsprout.
Wow.
Like it's not a very good Pokemon. Steelix is slightly better, but still it is not like a fighter. It's a lover, not a fighter. And so I send out my Steelix against our Garchomp, expecting it to get like totally wrecked. But I also taught it Ice Fang. And
nice.
Yeah, right? So because it has Sturdy, it survives the Earthquake with 1 HP and is able to use Ice Fang, but then dies from the Rough Skin. And so I have to continuously heal my Steelix because you have to have it at full health for the ability to activate. So I'm like healing it and healing it and healing it, sending it out whenever I can to just get one hit off. Oh, so hard.
Oh man, that sounds great. I actually don't use potions or revives or anything in my playthroughs for the most part. I only do them if the enemy uses like whatever they use. I say, okay, they use that, I'll use that too. Like if they use a full restore or if they use something as simple as like just a potion, I'll be like, okay, that means I can use a potion.
Yeah, the Elite Four use a lot of items. A lot.
Really? Ooh, I'm excited then.
Like, expect a lot of full restores. Like, it is scary.
I'm excited. I remember it being hard even when I was younger, but I hear they're even harder now, even before the post game.
They're insane. They're so hard. They have EV trained Pokemon. They have like everything is set up so that they will just wreck. It's so scary. It's some of the toughest battles I've ever had, and I loved it. Like,
yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad that they did that.
Hard.
So it seems like the general consensus between us is that the games are fun. We like the graphics, they're cute. We like the art style. We like the difficulty in the game. We like the sheer amount of things to do in the game. Being able to share experiences. We like the underground. We like follow Pokemon. We don't like the glitches. We don't like certain aspects about what Ilka wasn't allowed to touch, such as Pokemon animations and how the grid system worked with the battles, with their size scaling. Some of the backgrounds not moving is kind of jarring, but not necessarily too bad. Yeah, so like it seems like there's quite a balance of things to love and things that you just wonder why they're the way they are. The game feels kind of like it's missing something with the lack of platinum content, but also added some really good things with, some new features. Granted, the features are mostly aesthetic things, but nonetheless, they are new features, and we do like them. So that is a big plus. Of course, I will be doing a review of the game once I finish my playthrough. And Cayla, you're going to be doing a review as well, if I'm not mistaken, right?
My review comes out on Friday.
Oh, you already... Okay. Dang, you're
I
ahead
already
of the curve.
filmed it.
All right, so Kayla's review comes out first. So go ahead and smash that subscribe button on her channel. Wait, that came out wrong. So smash that subscribe button on her channel. And then watch her review when that comes out on Friday. And go ahead and watch her streams. You guys can witness that crazy battle she had with Cynthia. And then keep an eye out as well for my videos on me playing through BDSP, which are very different from hers. Hers are very wholesome. Mine are very not. So...
Get it! You're like, dumb!
Wait, what? What did you say?
That's not how it works at all.
What did you say?
I'm just laughing so much now.
Because you watched my video?
Oh yeah, it was hilarious. I was dying.
Yeah,
especially next to mine. Mine are like, yeah, power of friendship.
Yeah, mine's like, oh, there's fuck ass.
Right?
And then my character, like, the lore behind my character is that she slept with all the boys in her hometown and took their virginities.
Oh my gosh.
So she's like the town hoe, but she's going on a Pokemon journey.
Meanwhile, I'm like, my mom gave me a hat. Yay!
So we have very different playthroughs going on, so you guys can have fun watching both and seeing the juxtaposition. So yeah, go ahead and subscribe to both of us and keep an eye out for more podcasts and more videos to come from both me and Cayla from Cayla's Capsule. Until the next podcast, which will probably be on Pokemon Legends. It's kind of a mix of Pokemon Legends and Pokemon BDSP, but I'll let you guys see that when it comes out. And until then, I hope everyone enjoyed the video and have a nice day. Peace out.